Jolly, jolly. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas.
Roll it.
Roll it.
Welcome back to the Volly House Podcast, episode 48.
Yes.
We're here at Kolka Studios. So if you need a firehouse built, give them a call. We got Ryan Mackey on the sticks. Be sure to give him a follow at Max_visuals. That's MACKS. Go to volleyhousepodcast.com or DM us to ask us questions and send in stories or videos you'd like us to review. And also give us a follow on all social media platforms at Volly House Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to our channels on YouTube and Spotify.
Where's the stick that Ryan's on? Because I don't see it.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Broomstick? That was Halloween.
Yeah. This is the... there we go.
Stick.
There we go. Let's get into our wonderful sponsors here. We'll start with Command Fire Apparatus. Need a reliable fire truck? Have a surplus fire truck to sell? At Command Fire Apparatus, they specialize in high-quality used fire trucks ready for your department. They're not brokers. They buy, refurbish, and sell directly to you. From pumpers to ladder trucks, they have what you need, and they pride themselves on delivering a truck to you that is ready to go in service. Join the many satisfied departments that trust them for their fire apparatus needs. Experience stress-free selling and buying today. Visit sellfiretrucks.com or call 866-238-6688. Your next fire truck is just a click away. Command Fire Apparatus is a firefighter-owned and managed company. And iCommand Board. As an incident commander, you know that running a scene can be chaotic. Not only are you responsible for getting the job done, but you're also responsible for the members that are putting their lives at risk. As the alarms we respond to change, so does the way we're prepared to handle them. Instead of trying to keep tabs on a whiteboard or notebook, what if there was a tool that had information and checklists that you can follow as the scene unfolds? Meet iCommand Board, a tool created by a fire chief to run flawless incident command. It's made to easily carry and fit in any responder vehicle or rig. It's also designed for any calls our departments handle and can even be customized to your department's needs. If you're looking for an affordable tool to improve your fireground capabilities, visit iCommandBoard.com today. All right, well, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Festivus, whatever it is.
Whatever it is you celebrate.
And
drinking all day, whatever it is
Yeah.
you celebrate.
We got our eggnog today. Kevin stole.
I can't believe you didn't spike it, though.
Well, we can't have you drinking and just you. Kevin
Why?
came in here all bah humbug, and then
Not bah humbug.
you were so bah humbug.
I'm just tired.
Yeah,
I told you, I wake up when the lights come on.
you came in here cranky, grinchy, and then you stole all the office's fucking ornaments and made a whole scene for us. I love it though; it's great. Very nicely done, Kev.
I don't mess around.
How? Oh, you didn't. You said you didn't go Christmas shopping. I have so much dust in my nose.
I've been
right
out
now.
and about. I mean, I do a little here and there, but I don't do much shopping. No.
I'll tell you, this morning.
I let my wife shop. She likes to spend money. I let her shop. I let her buy.
Yeah, my wife did all the shopping, and then all I had to do was get her stuff, and then like a couple of other people, and of course, that's what I did today.
What I do is I answer the door as the products come in.
Yeah.
Answer the door, bring them in. You know,
Yeah,
my girls will be happy. You know,
I saw.
they're all grown and getting more expensive. You know, that's the way it works. So.
Yeah, I dropped her off at the train this morning and saw 2 car accidents on the way. Actually, one was in the train station parking lot, and the other one was when I was heading back.
Well,
So
the snow turned into nothing here.
it wasn't even. I don't even think it was a snow problem.
No,
I
people
got
just
something,
can't drive.
I think these Santa hats are get me all like allergic.
People
over
just
here.
can't drive. They drive down the shoulders and shit. I tell you, you got to be careful. Even when you're out there responding, you know, well, we talked a little bit about this, but
Yeah.
roadway is so dangerous. But the way people drive nowadays, running up the shoulder and trying to get the turn lanes and just passing people in general, like if you're out there on the road, just be careful.
Yeah, especially now, like everyone's in a rush. Like every green light.
And all the holiday parties, people drinking.
Yeah, that too. That too.
Turn it up, yeah. Or should I be closer? Is that better?
All right, good.
Well, now I'll have a severe echo.
Yeah, right.
Echo.
Let's get into suspended or not. We have a submission.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
A station's engine was out of service for an extended period of time, leaving them with only a utility vehicle to respond with. The department had an unofficial spare engine. One engine company had 2 engines. The chief's office refused to place the unofficial spare engine in service to the company whose engine was out of service. In protest, members attended a parade as spectators that their department was marching in. As the members' department passed them, members stood up at attention, turned their backs on the chiefs and members, and one member flipped off the chief of the department.
Ooh, that's a problem.
All members were brought into the chief's office, but only the member who flipped the chief off was suspended.
I could see that.
It's a tough one.
What was the issue of the spare engine not getting relocated?
They didn't put it back in service. So this company had 2 engines, and one was a spare, but for whatever reason, it seems like the chiefs did not put the spare engine.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Why wasn't the spare engine put in service?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, I as a chief officer, to not have an engine in a firehouse,
I don't know if it's
obviously there's probably more to the story, but flipping off the chief at a parade in public,
it seems like they have,
definitely-
well, that's an issue.
definite problem. I'll tell you that.
I'll tell you, it seems like there's some other underlying
Oh, there's
issues
definitely something
there.
going on.
You're not just going to flip off a chief because they didn't put your one engine in service.
Like I said, there's a lot more usually to these stories anyway. But in public, flipping off the chief, I would say is probably a suspension.
Yeah.
That's not even a warning. That's a suspension.
Yeah, it seems
You
like
know, and
they,
I would
they got
hate
run
to
on.
do that, but obviously there's something here, but that's not a good thing. You know, maybe the guys that turn their back on a chief, warning, don't do it again, you know, apology, whatever. But flipping off the chief in public is definitely not a good issue.
Yeah.
To say the least, don't do it. But not having that engine in service, I mean, if you're a chief officer, commissioner, or something like that, and a rig is out of service, and you have a spare, and you don't put it in the firehouse because of maybe political reasons or policy, or you don't like people in that station, shame on you.
Well,
'Cause
yeah, that's a problem.
It's about the public, it's about the taxpayers, and you got to have rigs in service, or borrow one.
This,
you know, and
this seems like
we
it was
had a
just
neighboring.
it was one engine company within the department that had a spare engine that they did not put in service, but there were other engines in that
I
department.
understand there's other engines, but if you normally have an engine there and you take it out of service, like
Oh, I
that's-
agree,
that's
yeah.
a downfall to your community and your response. So you need to do something. So, you know, many years ago, one of our neighboring departments had a problem with a rig. They were having mechanical problems and all sorts of stuff, and we lent them one of our engines, and we let them use it for a period of time because they were short engines, you know.
Right.
And that was the right thing to do. We had a spare engine, and it doesn't get used all the time. We lent it to our neighbor.
Or at the very least, have a automatic aid set up for an engine. I
Yes,
know-
but that's a delayed response as well. So if you have an engine
Yeah, but
within your organization, why wouldn't you put it in service?
No, I'm saying like if you have, in the case that you don't have one, and your neighboring department that's close enough to you, like they can't necessarily give you the engine as a spare, but they can respond in.
They may
for
or may
calls.
not. It
I'm just saying
depends.
that's another.
But, you know, you've seen that many years around here on Long Island. You know, like somebody's ladder truck is out of service. It's the only ladder truck in that department.
Mm-hmm.
So while it's out of service, they automatically mutual aid a ladder.
Right.
You know, and we've done that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we now have 2 ladders, so it's a little easier. We don't go down ladders the way. But if you're short a ladder, you should get a ladder company to come just in case.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's a lot more to that story
Yeah.
that we're not hearing.
I agree.
But flipping off a chief in public at a parade while your other members turning their backs, I would say that's a suspension. Sorry.
I agree. Job of the week. We got 2 submissions here. First one is Moyer's Corners. I think is upstate.
Yeah, they have a living program there too.
Yeah, they had
Pumpkin
a
program.
double fatal fire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, residential fire with multiple mutual aid departments. Then another submission from Ontario, Canada. They had a turkey barn fire. And that was Zora Fire Rescue District. And there was,
Did they lose turkeys?
nope, 2 other departments called in for tankers from mutual aid. They operated from 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. Luckily, no turkeys were harmed.
That's good.
Well, it's probably also after Thanksgiving, so there's probably no fucking turkeys put in that barn
There's
anyway.
turkeys around. I just saw today too. Somebody, I want to say like Goshen or somebody had a job today. Somewhere. I saw something. But there, I've been trying to keep track. There's been quite a few on the island as
Yeah,
well.
good luck. The island has been nuts lately.
It wasn't too
I
bad.
think there was
mean,
one today.
there were 2 today.
2? Jesus.
So you had Center Reach and Blue Point. Well, Center Reach was first. I went to that one. That was an air conditioner on the roof. It looked really good coming in. The roof was on fire. And Blue Point had a job. I think the neighboring department beat them in. I think Bayport beat them in or something. West Hempstead and Seacliff. Then Lawrence Cedarhurst. Then Long Beach. Oyster Bay yesterday, which was like, Oyster Bay was like connecting parking lot
Yeah, I
with their
think I heard
firehouse.
that,
It was
yeah.
right around the corner because their firehouse is on East Main, and then it was on Main Street. So it was 2-story commercial or mixed occupancy,
Yep.
I think.
Which is second
And then
alarm,
this
right?
morning you had Lindenhurst and Wantor this morning.
Right, that's what it was.
So there were
yeah.
2 more this morning. So that was in the last couple of days. So 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. So, yeah, there's been fires around. So,
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
And there's,
And I got to talk to the one chief from Wisconsin that went in on that St. James job.
oh, yeah?
So, maybe we'll have him on the show at some point and talk about it. But he was explaining a little more about it. But he said he heard us talking about it on the show, which was pretty cool. But I wanted to ask him, what he saw, what he did, and
Yeah, always good to get that perspective, of guys that go into a situation where things are a little bit hairy, when you're
yeah,
trying to,
talking to
you're
him,
trying
it
to
was
make a
hairy.
grab.
So, they tried to get in the first floor, they got pulled back, then went in the ladder, second floor. But, yeah, we'll try to get him on at some point and let him talk about it and what happened. But, it is interesting hearing, because you hear a lot of chatter, you hear rumors, you hear things that go on. There was some video, which was good, of them bailing out and him coming headfirst out the window. But it's good to hear the perspective from the firefighter that was actually in there.
Yeah.
So it would be good to hear that story.
Yeah, let's do it.
But, yeah, there's been a lot of fires, so just be careful. And looks like we're going to get some weather Friday, Saturday again. Maybe some decent amount of snow on the island, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think I'm sick of the snow after Christmas. I'm done with it. But
Well,
I know.
What
think we're in
were they
for-
talking about? It was like an inch, then it was like 3 inches, whatever. I woke up, I think I had 4.5 on the ground. And
What, last week?
Yeah, and then I think we had 7.5, 8 inches. Like,
Yeah, it was a pain in the ass.
I want to be a weatherman because the weathermen are always seem to be wrong and they get paid for it. Like, how do you do that?
Well, there.
And I know there's a lot of factors that go into it. I mean,
I'll
I
tell
watch
you what,
the weather.
the guys that have the page, Long Island-wide weather.
I follow him.
Yeah, they're great.
He's
because
very
they
good.
don't. There's 3 of them now, but they actually just made another page called Cross Country Weather, I think, where now they do all over the U.S. But those guys, like, they try to get as specific as possible. They tell you exactly what they're looking at and why it could be this way or that way.
Well, you got all the models, right?
Yeah,
You
so
have
they
the
like
European
they
models,
go in
and then
because like you watch the news, they just say, "Oh, we're fucked. This is what's coming toward us," and then all of a sudden nothing happens. These guys go through on their Facebook page all the models and what they mean and what they're pointing to,
what they think.
Yeah, and they've
But I think the island wide weather guy is very good.
yeah no
I
that's
really
what I'm
think
saying.
He's very good.
That's
but-
they have this page. I think it's Cross Country Weather that they run, but it's for the rest of the country. So they do a great job. But yeah, 'tis the season for snow.
Yeah, and
if
with
you're in the
that, I mean,
Northeast.
obviously people listen to us around the world nowadays, but You know, if you're in snow type of country and stuff, it's a little. Long Island is a very unique place because we're surrounded by water, and our weather is very strange. I mean, we can go from the other day, what was it, 58, 59 degrees out, and then it was 20 the next day. Like it's
I
insane.
think it was in the same day.
Yeah, it was like crazy. So, you know, sometimes we get snow, sometimes we get ice, sometimes we get rain, sometimes we get a mix. It's crazy, but you should prepare yourself for those type of operations, you know. And you know, with my guys at the firehouse, we were talking about it. I'm like, let's get the rock salt buckets, let's get everything set up. You know, we've been prepared for a little while. Make sure everybody knows where the shovels are on the rig. You know, like even putting the towel ladder, the tormentors down. When we do that, if it's snow or ice cover, we usually throw rock salt down first.
Okay.
And put the pads right on top of it because it instantly melts it, and then you get contact to the ground. You know, there's people that like to use sand or rock salt, speedy dry, stuff like that. Not always a great idea, especially if you're on a little bit of a hill, because sand is like rolling blades. And what happens is if you do have a little bit of movement, the rig could slide still on sand because they're like little rocks or little balls. I'm not saying it doesn't work or it doesn't give you grip, but it's something to think about. You know, where rock salt usually will compress, will melt, and eventually give you contact. So it's things you have to think about. You know, and some people don't think about it. The other option is wood and cribbing. You know, under
I was just going to say that. Well, not even under that, but under wheels. If your truck gets stuck, I remember doing a winter standby one time, and we had an automatic fire alarm at the middle school. Bring the engine up. They have like that U-shaped drive-through in front of the school, and the engine got stuck. Trying to get it out, just spinning wheels. We're like, and it's snow's coming down, and there was already like a foot on the ground. We're like throwing down speedy dry, trying to dig it out and everything like that, and it just wasn't working. And eventually, we just threw a chock underneath, and
Yeah,
it just
wood, chocks,
slipped up,
you know,
slipped up the
there's-
wheel, and we got it out.
There's a lot of different ways. Some departments do use chains, whether they
Yeah, I
have
think they got the chains after
the
that.
on-spot ones with flip under the tires and stuff. Those are so-so, but they do work. They're good up for the ambulances. But actual tire chains that you can throw on the rig, there are things that you can carry to get you in and out and stuff like that. So it's just stuff to think about. You know, rigs are going to handle differently. It's a little slower. So, you know, just situational awareness all the time and be careful out there. But be prepared for winter. Be prepared. Your windows are going to ice up. Your mirrors are going to be, covered with snow and ice and stuff that you may not be able to see as well as you normally do. So,
Right.
you know, just slower approach. You know, try not to hit anybody or run anybody over. Even your own firefighters. You know, it's very difficult. You're backing the rig up. Don't run over anybody.
Or even just, sometimes hydrants freeze up.
Hydrants,
Have a
digging
backup
hydrants
plan.
out. You know,
Yeah, digging them out. That's another big thing because no
a
one
lot of
fucking
departments
does that.
have the flags on the hydrants, which are great. Some don't.
Or some have tried.
Or some
remember
tried.
when
and
I
the
was-
fiberglass, some of those things, it goes right in your hands. Like, you got to be careful.
Yeah, when they first put those on the fire hydrants, years ago. Me and my friends used to just like bend them, the plastic ones. We didn't really know what the hell they were for.
Right. Sure.
But we would just be like hanging out, and you'd be like leaning on it, and it would just bend. And you know, it's like hopefully the snow doesn't like push that thing under. But maybe if you got a guy that's doing like some driver training or something like that, maybe drive around and shovel out some hydrants.
Yeah, we used to go out. You know, we would do a duty crew or a snow standby, and you know, once the slowed down a little bit or whatever, we'd go out, or in the days after, and try to dig it out. You know, and share that message on social media with your, you know, residents in your community. You know, 3 feet around or whatever, and clear your hydrants. For those people that do plow, please do not plow in the hydrants. People seem to push the snow because the hydrant's on the corner and they bury them. It's not good for us. You know.
I remember when I was growing up, my house, we were in a cul-de-sac, and the plows used to come in just
Push it right to the end.
right in. There was one hydrant at like the corner of the cul-de-sac. And I always thought about that too. If there was ever a fire in one of those houses, it would get pretty jammed up in that cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Especially if it was snowing, because it was like the cul-de-sac was like half the size when there was snow just piled
Yeah, because
up everywhere.
right, it shrinks everything up.
Yeah.
But even getting on and off the rig, be very careful. It can be slippier than where you started, or maybe you got on the rig in quarters. There was no snow. Now you're going to get out. Your weight is going to be different with an SCBA on your back or tools or whatever the situation. The boots aren't always the best in snow and ice. So, when you're getting off the rig, be careful. And if you're a chauffeur, make sure everybody cleared the rig and somebody didn't slide under the rig before you pull away or something like that. So it's all things to think about. And, when the weather starts to get crappy, you just have to take a slower approach and be very careful that you don't hurt anybody.
Right. Let's get into some topics here. The first one...
We didn't even finish up topics last week. We had so many.
Yeah, I know. This came through an email. It's a fairly long email, and I'm going to try and read it out without saying names of the departments in the areas. Let's see, where is this?
There's been some good clips and videos out there that I could just
This
go to
one's
town with.
This one's a. So the topic I wanted to hear you talk about was fire companies' social media and individual firefighters posting on their personal social media accounts. In our area, a neighboring department was recently decertified by X Township due to decreased manpower and insufficient fire protection. The township has since been covered by Blank Township, which is also a neighboring department that Blank Township is now paying to cover. So-and-so has a combination department with paid staffing during the day, 0800 to 1600, as well as volunteers. Some residents are okay with the change, others are not, and they voice their opinions on social media and at township meetings. That said, there are some areas in this township that our department can reach more quickly than this other department can. We recently responded to a house fire in one of those areas where our department can reach it faster than this other department. Fire came in at 23:30. Within 5 minutes of dispatch, we had our engine and tanker with full crews and our utility with 2 guys en route. We arrived roughly 4 minutes later at a fully involved house. All residents had been evacuated. So, in short, our dispatch to on-scene time was 9 minutes. Blank Township had one of its officers who lives in our township on scene within 7 minutes, and their ladder on the road within 3 minutes. Don't remember their crew size, but they arrived roughly 11 minutes after responding. In short, 14 minutes from dispatch to on scene. 2 days after the fire, during our training night, one of our firefighters had helmet camera footage of the fire. We watched it and we discussed posting it on the department's Facebook page. One of our officers had concerns about the tension and the politically contentious geographic area of the fire, especially given our department beating the township's new paid department to their now first due area. We ultimately posted a shortened video, a brief description, and expressed our condolences to the family and loved ones affected by the fire. We then received a private message from a citizen stating that we should not be posting such things, asking whether we had permission to post it, and possibly a violation of the Right to Know Act. Additionally, they questioned the competency of our PR team about state and local regulations. Given this, my main request is your opinion on 2 points. 1, should fire departments post about incidents on their official Facebook pages? And 2, what guidance should exist for individual firefighters posting about incidents on their personal social media? I know that was a lot.
So there's a lot to it. So let me get this straight. The town said that this fire company or department is not certified. Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry, say that again?
The town decided that this department was not a certified department?
No, so to break it down, what happened was it seems like there's a township where there was multiple different departments within.
Correct.
They just decertified one of them because they weren't
their department. They decertified their department.
The township. I guess there must have been multiple departments within this township. They decertified one of them, and that area that department covered was now being covered by
somebody else,
which has the paid and volunteer, and also this department that was not decertified.
Oh, so they weren't decertified.
No. No, there was just one that
So
seems to have been...
let's say there's 5 departments. They got rid of one and
Yes.
said you're not decertified. So now there's 4,
Right.
and now these 4 departments are going to respond.
Right.
But then they didn't get toned out. They toned out this other department.
No, apparently they beat the.
Well, they
the
both got
They both got toned
out.
out for it, but the volleys beat the paid guys into their first due area, and
Okay,
people
well,
are
it
putting
happens.
it out there on
It happens.
social media.
Sometimes
So,
you get beat up. Listen, and I don't know all the factors. Once again, it's very hard to try to give a good opinion on not knowing everything. But, when you start looking at distances in time, like, was that paid department in quarters? Were they out at another alarm? Were they in the middle of something like training when they were trying to turn out? Like, there's so many factors that go into response
it
time.
says it came
And-
through at 23:30 hours, so 11:30 at night.
Okay, so they could be sleeping, but you still don't know. Like I say, I don't know all the factors. So, listen, there could have been an accident on the way. They could have had to divert a different turn. Maybe they made a wrong turn. Who knows the situation? Whoever gets there first, obviously, they're going to help the situation. Whether you're volunteer paid, it really doesn't matter. You got to be professional, whether you're volunteer paid or anything else. Professionalism isn't about a paycheck. It's about pride, it's about dignity, it's about tradition, it's about the way you respond, it's about your SOPs, it's your policy, it's everything. That's professionalism, how you turn out and do everything. So, listen, there are the best paid departments in the world, and sometimes they get delayed for different reasons. Like, I've been on building inspection and got delayed and got beaten by another company. It happens. So I don't know all the factors. And listen, maybe they got there fast or whatever the situation is. Do we want to blast each other because they got beaten? No. Whatever's best for the taxpayer or the community of getting a response there, whoever gets there first, who cares?
So
I don't like it. I don't like getting beaten. It happens, though.
I agree with you on that, and I think, yeah, in those types of situations, and you even see it with like the group me pages. Some people they'll say whatever they want to say, and it irks people. Like, they'll say something
People
about...
do it about us, or what we
all
say,
the time
right?
about us.
This guy doesn't know what he's talking about, right?
You'd actually,
it happens.
I saw a comment the other day. Somebody wrote, "These guys are wannabe FDNY firemen."
Wannabe, okay.
I was like, "Oh wow,
Wow.
I guess you don't know about Kevin's background."
I guess they don't know who I am, I guess.
Yeah, but yeah, you're gonna get.
Yeah, I'm retired a couple of years.
Yeah, you're gonna get that, but yeah, the people that will say...
I want to know who wants to say that they're wannabes, because obviously they want to be an FDNY guy.
That was my
Or they are an FDNY guy and just doesn't know.
It was one of those accounts.
Maybe Tyler wants to be.
Yeah,
But
one of those accounts. No picture, just user, bunch of numbers. But yeah, and like you can't really troll.
let's see if that person can.
Yeah, you can't troll a fire department page or
People
podcast.
troll everything.
No,
Listen,
I get it, but
mean,
it's like I've heard
the one
I've
guy
heard
had
everything.
5 followers that was writing shit about me. Like, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
this guy's a jerk.
I'm
off.
like, I've heard it all. I've had the
You
shit
think you've
said
heard
to
it
my
all?
face. I'm sure you've heard it.
I've heard it all, bro.
But
And I'm sure I'll still be shocked somewhere along the line.
yeah, right.
Probably haven't heard it all, but
So with this case, like we mentioned with the group me stuff, some people will write something about a department in a group me and they instantly get attacked or thrown out of the group me, because it's like, we're all firefighters here.
Listen, people are going to bash, but there's no need to put people down. I mean, there's one thing about joking around.
Right.
And, guys will say, oh, this or that. And I'll say, shit company, shit department, whatever. And it's a joke. I'm not really.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
not, listen, it's just, there's good and bad in every fire department. I'm telling you, you can think you're the best. We all think we're the best department in the world. I could tell you there's people better than you. There's people better than me. That, I learned from some of the best, and some of them will be better than me. People that, it's just going to happen, all right? We all think we're the best. It's just reality. I hate to tell you, you can have a good crew one day and a shit crew the next day.
Absolutely.
One day you're turning out and you got 6 guys on a rig or 20 guys at a fire. The next day you only have 2. So stop your bullshit, okay? And even in paid professional departments, and I've seen all different kinds, the best to the worst. There's good and bad in everything. Okay, there unfortunately. So once again, it comes back to what's inside you, what's inside your brain, your education, turning out quickly, doing the right thing, all of that stuff.
Right.
But I've seen the best of the best get fucked up.
Right.
They got burnt because they did something, or they cut a corner,
So
or they
hold-
did.
hold that thought,
This
because-
shit is going to happen.
because that's
and I'm
actually-
telling you,
it's
you
a-
think. Hold
it's a
on.
submission here.
If you think you're the best, I'm telling you, you will fucking be humbled at some point in your career.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you're a couch potato.
Let's get back to this. Should fire
See, I told you I'd
departments-
wake up.
should fire departments post about incidents on their official Facebook
Okay, so
pages?
here's the other side of that. To a certain extent, yes, and a certain extent, no. You have to be very, very careful of what you do and what you post. Obviously, on the EMS end, we have HIPAA and everything else. All right, but even at car accident scenes, stuff like that, when things turn into serious physical injury or somebody dies at the scene, it's a crime scene. Okay. You best be very, very careful about what you're putting out.
I have seen a department make a
Whether
mistake like that.
even a car accident, you take a picture of a license plate, there's a way to find that person. You just violated, you can be put in jail. And I'm not trying to scare people, just be very careful. The other thing is, don't take pictures with yourself smiling in front of somebody's demise. And I've said this
Right, yeah.
before on
We
here,
talked
right?
about that.
Inside somebody's house, a bunch of guys, hey, look at me, this and that, and you're posting on social. It's one thing for that picture to go back to your firehouse and hang on the wall, okay? It's another thing to post that on social media or get it in the newspaper, all right? You have to be extremely careful these days about what you post. Even if you get it from somebody else and share it, you can be held liable, okay? So be very cautious. The other part of that is, it's very easy to get yourself in trouble within your own department of writing things on social media, okay? And we just had an incident recently, but, people bash other departments, people bash their own chiefs, they bash their own departments on social media. Let me tell you something. Somebody's going to find out who you are. You can think you're hiding behind a screen name. I bet we can come find you.
Yeah.
All right. And maybe I can't or you can't, but somebody will be able to know who you are and they will find you. And if you do the wrong thing and they really want to come after it, they will. Okay. So be very cautious of what you do, what you post, what you say. All right. If this is not something you would say to somebody's face, you really shouldn't be posting it.
And I will say on the other end of that is there are some good reasons to post things on
Absolutely.
fire. Like, first is public safety. Mm-hmm. So a lot of departments you see nowadays will be putting up, hey, use caution on this road. We have fire department at an active scene right now. Avoid the area, whatever it may be. Or they post videos or pictures of, a house fire that they went to. And I think the upside to that, as long as you're not showing, like, a specific address, if you're not, like giving the address or anyone's name, anything of that nature.
Listen, that's going to get out anyway.
Yes,
I mean, the
100%.
newspaper's going to put out an address and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I'm just saying, especially if it gets into criminal type of stuff, arson, things like that. You got to be. And if you're taking pictures with your phone can be taken as evidence by the fire marshal, police officer on scene. So, you think you're protected, you think it's yours or whatever else. Like I say, be very, very cautious of what you're taking pictures of.
we talked about-
And you could say, oh, I didn't take a picture or I deleted. They'll still take your phone.
We talked about that, what we were just saying with the chief that went in to try and get that rescue. Mm-hmm. That was a video that was posted to their social media, but it wasn't posted like, carelessly. They have PR teams that went through it and said, you know what, this would be a good video, A, just to show that we were in there really doing our best to try, and B, to show the community what we're actually doing.
Correct.
And that's where it's a good thing.
On that side of it, it was good. It was good to see what happened there. It's good to see that obviously they trained very hard. I mean, to do a headfirst bailout the way they did, that shows extreme professionalism. And, you could say what you want. They gave it their all to try to get that person out of there. And, it's from an angle. You can't really see whose home it is. I mean, obviously it's all going to come out in the end. But yes, you got to be very cautious of what you're doing. All right. And social media can be the best of you and the worst of you all at the same time.
Right.
So, yes, we want to show the public we're doing right. We want to show the public what really happens. We want to use it as fire prevention tools. We want to use it as training opportunities for us because we can look at those videos and try to help ourselves get better at what we do. But you could also turn into a problem. So when you look at this situation, getting back to it, right, there's a lot of factors going on here. And obviously, response zones change, things change, people get beaten, right? And that's happening on Long Island. Like I said, it happened the other day. It's happened to my department. We got beaten from a neighboring department. It's going to happen. If you're calling for automatic aid or banging out multiple departments, somebody's going to beat you in at some point. It's just the way it is, unless you're close by. So it's good for the public. It's good for our taxpayers. It's good for our communities to get somebody there fast. They don't care what the name is on the side of the truck. They don't care if you're volunteer. They don't care if you're paid. They don't care if you're combination. They want professional people to show up fast to take care of their problem and put it to side and fix it. That's all people care about.
Right.
Okay? They don't care that your budget's been cut, your firehouse has been closed, you're only down to 3 men. They don't care. They care that you come help them.
Right.
So be professional, do the right thing, and respond. But don't go bashing other departments. Don't go bashing people. It's not worth it.
I would say, too, because his second question was what guidance should exist for individual firefighters posting about incidents on their personal social media. I would say,
well,
from a personal standpoint, your personal standpoint, personal social media, posting about incidents, I would refrain from that. And I think most departments have
a policy,
like a social media policy. You don't want anything on your personal social media where, and we've probably said this before, but wearing your department T-shirt. Here's a clear example is years ago when I was doing stand-up, I had a couple of shows where I just had my fire department T-shirt on, and my chief came up to me and he said, hey, he's like, I saw your video you put up. He's like, it was great, love the show, whatever. He's like, but just do me a favor, don't wear the fire department T-shirt on there in case you say something stupid that now all of a sudden people think it reflects us.
Discredit or bad reflect on your department will put you in trouble.
Right.
It just, listen, I've posted about things or incidents, it's rare, but I do every once in a while, I'll post something. But I'm not going to bring bad discredit to my department. Right. And that's where you get yourself into trouble. So just be very careful. And, the T-shirt thing, the shirt, the jackets, everything else, everybody loves to wear them. Everybody wants to say, oh, I'm a firefighter. It's great until you screw up. Mm-hmm. And then you look like an idiot. So when you decide to go out in the bar and drink, that's fine. You go out in the bar and drink and you're being an idiot. You're saying stupid shit. You're doing the wrong thing. You're puking or pissing in somebody's bushes, you're going to get yourself into trouble. So don't do it. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Or ask if can I get permission to post this?
Right. Yeah, I was going to say ask your PR department or a chief if you don't have one. But I would say especially...
But social media can be so good and it can be so bad at the same time. Just be very cautious.
And there's a very thin line with that.
Yeah. Listen, like I said, not too long ago, my department went to a mutual aid fire. The guys did a great job and everything. They took a picture, and I saw it on our department closed group, and I was like, I don't know. If somebody grabs that, shares it, it could be a problem, kind of thing. I didn't say anything until it got posted on Instagram, and I texted the guy right away, and I'm like, you might want to take that down. I said it never looks good taking a picture smiling in front of somebody's burnt out house. And he's like, you're absolutely right, Chief. I'll take it down right away. And he did. So, and I'm not trying to be the social media police. I'm not trying to be an idiot. I just don't want to see him get in trouble. It's just wrong. So he took it down immediately, which was good. He recognized it. He didn't fight me on it. He didn't say, no, he just said, you're right. You're absolutely right. So don't do stupid things like that. You want to go back to the rig and take a picture after a fire all dirty? Go ahead, do it. You want to go back to the firehouse, take a picture with your crew? Go do it. All right? Not a big deal.
Yeah.
But somebody's demise, they're having the worst day of their life, and you're sitting there smiling that you went to a good job. Not a good thing.
Right. Yeah, because from a civilian standpoint, it doesn't make any sense that you would be happy. They don't understand that part of it.
Correct.
The next one, junior firefighters ages 16 to 18 packing up for working fires, so like packing up hose. However, they must have completed Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2 through our state fire school, which also offers pro board certifications as long as they are 16 by the time of graduation. Also must show that they are knowledgeable on how to operate the packs, and then they wrote pros or cons. He said our department has had an influx of young members joining. We started a cadet program from ages 14 to 16, which gives younger members a chance to feel it out prior to becoming a junior member. So far, we have had good luck with our retention of younger members.
So they allow members to be full-fledged firefighters at 16. That's what I'm getting out of that.
No. I'm actually a little confused by this.
So there are some departments that allow members to come in at 17.
It looks like, okay,
So
hold
they're
on.
saying they're firefighter 1. If they're firefighter 1, they're a firefighter.
All
They
right,
must
so
have a
here's,
cadet
here's what it
program.
is. Here's what it is. 16 to 18, it seems like, is their junior program. Okay? But in order to become... They must have completed Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2 through our state fire school, which offers pro board certifications as long as they are 16 by the time of graduation.
Yeah.
Also must show that they are knowledgeable. They start a cadet program ages 14 to 16, which gives the younger members a chance to feel it out before becoming a junior member.
So this is not New York.
I don't think so.
No, it's not New York. So, like I say, once you get outside, I say it all the time, get outside your zip code, get outside your county, get outside your state. There are things that happen in other places and other countries that is a lot different than what we do here on Long Island. We call our juniors, most of juniors on Long Island are like 14 to 17 or up to 18 years old. And then you can come into the department at 18. There are some departments that allow you to come in at 17. Or, after a completion of something, there's different ways to do that. If you're under the age of 18, you need parental consent. A parent has to sign off on you to be a firefighter.
Yep, happened to me.
And what's that?
That was when I joined. I was 17. My dad had to sign papers.
So some places do that. Some departments only allow you to come into the department if you are a junior at 17. Otherwise, you have to wait till 18 to become a full-fledged member. So depending on where you are in this world and country, it's going to be a little different. So what we call juniors, like that 14 to 17 range, is sometimes very different in other places. So they have a cadet program, 14 to 16, which would be like our juniors.
Yes.
Then they have what they call a junior program, is probably more of like an observer type of member. So at 16, they allow them to become firefighter 1. They get a parental consent. They're probably allowed to go to the scene of alarms, not as a first alarm assignment or response, but they can help clean up, pack up, and put hose back on the rigs as training to see if they really like this stuff before becoming a full-fledged member.
Yep.
So there's different ways to do it. There's a department in Nassau County that when you join, before even becoming a probie, you become what they call an observer. So you're allowed into the department,
companies.
And you wear a different type of helmet. It says observer or O on your helmet. You can go to the scene. You can go on the rigs. You can watch. You can't do anything other than watch. Like you do basic training like bloodborne pathogen, stuff like that, and you can go to the scene and watch. But you can't really do anything. And then you say, okay, I like this. I want to become a member. Then you become a probie. So there's a lot of differences across this country, across the state, and everywhere else of how they do different things. So in this particular case, their juniors are allowed to go, I guess, help clean up, pack up hose, stuff like that, which I think is good. I wouldn't pawn it off on just them. Obviously, everybody should be involved in.
Right.
I posted a picture the other day of 5 different departments packing hose on Center Reach's rig, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And, people joke about it, but it is a good time to talk, meet people, stuff like that. But everybody does a little piece of the pie. Whether you're young or old, everybody kind of chips in, and many hands make light work. So this is a good way for them to learn, to start figuring out. I wouldn't let them just pack my hose. I would want to make sure it's right, so you want to help them out. But it could be good for the organization. It just depends on where and why.
Hold on a sec. I'm reading this. Now as you're talking about this, I'm kind of reading this a different way.
Now you're figuring it out?
No. Junior firefighter, age 16 to 18, packing up for working fires.
So they're going into
I think that
fires.
wrong? Like, However, they must have completed firefighter 1 and firefighter 2.
This guy's killing me.
Through our state. Well, if you fucking read it the same way I do, I mean, you didn't.
Well, you gave it to me. You told
Yeah, I
me
did.
what it is. I'm telling you what
just
my
saying,
opinion is.
You read it. And
I'm
tell
sure
me
if I read it, I can read it right.
No, you would have thought the same shit that I did, because I'm thinking in my head, well, why would a 16-year-old? But then again, like you said before,
So
there
hold
were
on a
some-
second. So you're saying he's a junior at 16, full-fledged firefighter that can go into working
Hold on, let's
fires.
fucking break this down.
And that's possible too. There
Yes,
are
there
some
is.
places that do allow that.
There was when I first joined, if you had a member of your family in the fire department, you could join at 16. It has since changed, but that was a thing. So now I'm reading this. Junior firefighters ages 16 to 18 packing up for working fires, which means SCBA, not packing hose. However, they have to have completed firefighter 1 and firefighter 2 through our state fire school, as long as they are 16 by the time of graduation.
So if they're firefighter 1 at 16 and they have parental consent, they can go into fire.
Yes, that
That's
makes
fine.
sense.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I'm curious to know, though, where they are getting the time to put these kids through.
Some have high school programs.
I know that some do.
And BOCES programs, and I think we should have more of that. I think every high school should have a firefighter 1 program, to tell you the truth.
I agree.
We probably have more firefighters on Long Island.
Okay, so now this, but okay, yeah, this makes a lot more sense. So they do have like a
Is your
junior
brain
program.
functioning now?
Kev, I've been running around like a madman.
No excuses,
trying to
bro.
get
This
fucking,
is a podcast. We got to get our shit right here.
The podcast is so we could talk and figure out our ideas. All right. So if
It's Christmas.
it is, you bah humbug son of a bitch. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, I don't think.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, I would definitely team them up with a senior person, but it's good that they went through firefighter 1. That's great.
Yeah. Okay, my bad.
Just be careful. They're still kids.
I wonder why all these departments recently started changing the age to 18.
Because they can't get anybody. What do you mean change it to 18?
Because like I said, when
I've
I
been
joined...
18 forever. I had to be 18. I had to be 18 and out of high school. So I was 18 and a half when I joined the
Really?
department.
Yeah, but I mean,
They used to allow 17 prior to me, but guys would leave school and go to calls.
well,
And
I know that
they
was
stopped that. The
that was a
department said,
big
that's out.
That was a big problem.
Yeah,
I know
no more
that,
of that.
but if you join at 16 with, say, a member, because how are you going to get down to the firehouse at 16 years old? You don't have a driver's license yet. But
Hold on a second. In certain states, you can get a driver's
Okay.
license a lot younger. Florida, 15 years old.
is it really? I didn't know that about Florida. That's fucking crazy.
So, you know, like we always zone in on Long Island and New York,
I know.
but get outside of this area
No, but
and
I'm
you'll
just
see
saying-
how different it is.
I'm just saying
And in
in
other
general.
countries, it's probably very different.
I'm just
but-
saying in general, though, like people talk about these issues with getting new members. If you could get a person at 16 years old and get them trained to be a firefighter, then you don't have to worry about the guy that's only giving you a year before he goes off to college.
Once again, listen, you know, and I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer here, all right? You're talking about minors, okay? Minors. You do the
Yeah.
wrong thing, say the wrong thing. You're in a room with the person the wrong way. You can get yourself in a lot of
Yeah,
trouble.
no shit. We talked about that last
Yes.
episode.
So, you know, I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm not saying anything like that. You have to be extremely careful. You know, things you say, things you do around minors, or it's taken in context the wrong way, and they take it back to your parents, it's a big
Well,
problem.
that's what I'm saying. If a 16-year-old, I think you should have a member of your family in the fire department in order to be. And I honestly, I think
I'm not saying that that's not a problem either, but things happen.
I get that, but
I
how
mean, look
often
at this
do
thing
they-
just recently with the chief's wife, like
That's what I
flashing
was
the
just
kid.
talking about.
Like,
But that's
they're
one-
minors. You're under 18 years old. You are a minor. You have to be extremely careful.
right, and I agree with that. But let's take a look at every single fire station in the country. How often is that shit happening? Not very often in the grand scheme of things.
Well, that we either know about or that
I'll give
there's-
you
There's
that.
a lot of shit that's not reported. I mean, you look in this day and age. Years ago, right? Shit went on. You never heard about it. Shit travels so fast on social
Yes,
media.
I agree.
And everything else. I mean, you know, if a kid slept with a teacher, you know, that kid would have been like the best kid in the world in high school.
Right.
Now that gets reported. Now that teacher's going to jail. Like, there are things happening nowadays that would have never happened back in the day. And I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent or anything else. Like, just shit, you have to be careful.
Yeah,
and
I
when
agree
you're
with you.
dealing
I'm
with
not-
minors in any way, minors that are in social media accounts, group me accounts, and everything else, that's why they're trying to shelter these kids, like Facebook and everything else. They're trying to have all these things to stop kids to getting to certain areas and stuff. Like, you have to be very careful when you're dealing with kids.
I have a good example of this. When I joined, I was 17. There was some issue where somebody had bought in like a porn movie in like a DVD disc, and it was in the company room. The captain walked in there and saw it and reached out to all the guys like in our text group saying, I want all you guys down at the firehouse this day. Like, we can't have this. We need to figure it out. And he would not let me come into the meeting because I was 17.
Yeah.
Because it was just a sensitive topic. I was considered a minor, but he wouldn't. And it wound up being a whole big joke. Like, the guys did it purposely or whatever. I personally didn't give a shit, but my captain was cognizant of it, that this kid's a minor. I don't want that shit in my company room. And yeah, you're not going to sit in on this meeting because it's a sensitive topic for somebody that's your age. So yes, I do agree with you. You got to be careful.
And that goes with everything, right?
Yeah.
Things taken out of context, right? The social media group me's and stuff like that. Like, the wrong thing is portrayed, everybody's going down. Like, you got to realize there's an extension of the workplace. Okay, whether you're a volunteer or not, especially in New York State. In New York State, you're considered an employee of a fire district or a department or a company. You are an employee of that organization. And when you go out and do things with a group of people that are connected to that organization, it's considered an extension of the workplace. Even if it's a small group, right? If you only know each other because of that organization, it's an extension of the workplace. So when you create a GroupMe account, you could say, oh, it's not an official account of the company or the department. Doesn't matter. It's an extension of the workplace. Things that are said there come directly back to you and the organization. You can be held responsible, liable, and everything else. So you got to be careful.
Right. Now, this kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier, but this is the last one I have on my list. Why are firefighters the biggest critics of other firefighters?
We're always going to criticize each other. That's just the way it is. But listen, if you're going to criticize yourself first. All right? You should be able to look in the mirror and say, listen, you're not always perfect. I know I've done a lot of things wrong. I can tell you I have a career of making mistakes all the way along. I've tried to learn from each one of them. Will I continue to make the same mistake? Maybe I have once or twice, but I've tried to never repeat the same mistake twice. So it's very difficult road. We all want to criticize each other. People want a Monday morning quarterback. People look at a picture and they criticize the shit out of one little picture. It's a second of a picture. You don't know what happened before, after. It's the same thing with these cops. People go and videotape a police officer, right? They cut down the clip to 5-10 seconds of the cop doing this. They don't show you what happened before. They don't show you what happened after, but the cop looks like an asshole because of that 10-second clip. Now, is there video out there showing that people do wrong or they're not aggressive or they don't do the job they're supposed to? Yes, okay? And it can be very, very, very bad for your organization if you want to look at that.
I think there's other parts of it too where like sometimes like somebody had mentioned, where did all these like salty internet firefighters come from if the war years are behind us? And I was thinking to myself,
Yeah, I
well,
saw that. Yeah.
Maybe your area is not in their war years, so to speak, but maybe this other person is. Or maybe they're just trying to put stuff out there. And then you have like the firefighters that work out in their bunker gear and take videos of it. And that's not necessarily my thing, but I particularly don't give a shit enough to like go after that person and be like, you're a fucking loser, for working out in your bunker
I'll
gear.
never put somebody down for that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People would shit on me for being on this podcast.
People do that to me too.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
It's like, well, you could do it too. Like if you wanted to, like What are we saying that's bothering you so much? Or
Some
you know,
people are jealous. Who cares? It doesn't really matter. We're trying to share information here, right? I say this a lot. I've learned a lot. I got to experience a lot. I worked with some great people. I got people that taught me a lot of shit. It's time for me to pass that on to other people. The younger generations, let them learn, right? Maybe there's something I say, something I do that saves their life. Maybe there's something I say, something that I do that they won't do, which will save their life. I don't know, but like, and I've talked to some retired guys, from the city and stuff. And, guys are like, why do you do podcasts? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? And I said, listen, I go, you worked for one of the greatest fire departments in the world for 25, 30 years, and you built up all this knowledge base, all this experience and everything else. I go, that's not worth something? That's not worth telling somebody the story or what you've been through or, how you survived this flashover and like there's so much knowledge and that's worthless now that you should just go play golf the rest of your life? Like, there's so much knowledge and experience that we lost. New York City Fire Department lost so much experience and knowledge when 9/11 happened. I mean, we lost 343 people, and we've lost a count load. We're well over that number. We're in the 400s, almost 500 people have died since 9/11, of 9/11 related, and there's going to be more. And that extensive knowledge and experience that we lost that got rebuilt. And now we have other people that have gained a lot of experience and knowledge, and now that's not worth anything. You got to share it. Volunteers, right? Your senior members, they've learned a lot of shit. And, maybe things were different in the 50s and the 60s when they did it, or the 70s, all right, compared to today. But they learned a lot and shared. They built your departments. You wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them, right? I wouldn't have been a firefighter if it wasn't for them. Maybe I wouldn't have got to positions I was in because of what happened to other people. I don't know. But now I've gained knowledge, experience. I've been through a lot of ranks and stuff, and I want to help people. And, there's, people like, well, why do you do it for free? Why do you volunteer? Why do you do this? Who cares? You got to give back every once in a while, right? I mean, even Tommy Richardson said, the job's been good to me. I wanted to give back, right?
Thinking about him
and it's so true. I feel the same way. I didn't need him to tell me that. I feel the same way. When I teach, sometimes I teach and I don't get paid a lot of money. But you know what? I think it's important to get out there and share that experience.
Right.
Because people will learn and they'll listen. And that's what this podcast is about. People have learned a lot from us already. We've been doing this almost a year now. And I've had so many people sending me side messages, or I see them and they're like, hey, it's the podcast guy. You know what? You said this, this, and this, and now we're doing that. Or you said this, and now I changed the way that I'm packing up. So it's working. It's working that we're sharing information. This isn't about money. This isn't about anything. Money's great, but that's not everything. We volunteer because we want to do good for our communities. We want good for our people. We want build other people up, right? I want people to be better chiefs. I want people to be better leaders. All this bullshit and stigmatism of leadership sucks and this and that. Well, guess what? The only way to fix it is looking yourself in the mirror and helping fix it.
100%.
So fix it.
And, Tom Richardson, another thing he said on the show was that we all have egos.
Everybody does.
And, the specific job that we do as firefighters kind of reinforces that ego. We're doing cool shit, shit that most people won't do.
Or will never experience.
Or will never experience.
There are people that will never experience what you experience.
It's like, but you have people in the fire service that they're backed up by that ego, and that's why they're critiquing other people. Whether it's the paid guys going after the volleys or, whatever it is, the guy that's working out in his bunker gear or whatever, and people are shitting on him, just let him be. They're trying to just better themselves, and literally they're part of your brotherhood. There's no reason to be shitting on people.
Listen, every time I thought I was really good, I got humbled some way, shape, or form. It just happens, I think I'm pretty good firefighter. I don't want to say I'm a great firefighter. I think I do well. But I've worked with people who are a lot better than me. There were people around me. I surrounded myself with people who were better than me that made me better, right? My guys at work made me good. They made me look good. And they did the job. Those are the guys that are working hard.
Right.
As a boss, that's what you want. You want a good team that can do the job with or without you. And that's what my guys could do every single day. They were on their game 100% of the time. That's what you want. And you want that in every firehouse. You want it in the volleys. You want it in paid organizations. You want to build a great team. You want everybody to be able to work together. And you want them to be able to work with or without a boss if needed.
Yeah.
That's the goal. And I'm telling you right now, you could think you're the best firefighter in the world. You will be humbled. You will be humbled at some point.
Yeah,
Right?
and the problem with having that thought that you're the best firefighter around is the fact that eventually you'll become complacent with that type of mindset, and you will get humbled when you come across something that you think, oh, I can handle this. You know, I always talk about the difference between confidence and cockiness. You know, you could tell, and it's the people that are shitting on these other internet firefighters out there and whatnot, usually the cocky people.
Yeah. You know, and the thing is, with fires down and everything else, there was always a saying in New York City, and guys would say this a lot, is you're only as good as your last fire. And people, it was so true. And if you fucked up at a fire, usually there was another fire that came pretty soon that somebody else would fuck up. So you were the bad guy until the next guy fucked up, right? Mm-hmm. So, like I said, you're only as good as your last fire is true. In the volunteer fire service, sometimes it may take you a while to get that reputation off you that you fucked up.
Yeah.
So you want to be as good as you can every single time, and you're not going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. Everybody's going to make a mistake. Learn from that experience, make yourself better, and the only way to make yourself better is to continue to read, train, educate yourself, and do it. The guys that go out there and drill in full turnout gear are the guys that are going to be able to operate when the fire happens.
Oh, yeah.
The guys that go out there and work out in their turnout gear and stuff, their mobility will be much better in turnout gear. Them using an SCBA, they'll last longer. They'll be able, their anaerobic and exercise and everything else is so good for your body, and you'll get comfortable in doing the job. So don't shit on those people, because I'm telling you right now, I'm sure we can find a picture, a video, or something, and we can shit on you too. All right? There is no perfect firefighter out there. So, and I'll tell you, listen, I'm going to make another mistake somewhere along the line. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. You're going to make a mistake. He's going to make a mistake. We're all going to make mistakes. Just try not to make those mistakes. Become a better firefighter.
Absolutely. Very well said. And I'm sure somebody will find a way to shit
They'll
on
shit on
everything
me
you
next.
just said.
Listen, it is what it is.
Well, all that being said,
Christmas edition out. What are your Christmas trees? Don't burn your house down. Be careful cooking.
yeah, and
Even us firefighters make mistakes.
yeah,
Don't drink too much and leave things on the stove. Don't throw all your wrapping paper by the fire and light it on fire. Mm-hmm. But things happen. And, be ready to go, even for us volleys, and stuff. For those who are working Christmas and everything else, be careful out there. If the weather gets shitty, it's going to be even worse. But, for us volleys, if you're going to be leaving home and stuff, Christmas, because there's calls and fires, that's what we do.
yeah. And I think we will likely have one more episode before the new year.
Yeah, we'll do one more.
Yeah. So, we'll do
49 episodes out of 52 weeks is not bad.
Yeah.
We only missed a couple.
Something's not right there. Oh, yeah, because we did the two beginning episodes that we never put out.
Well, there was those. Then the one we did at the Firehouse Restaurant, you didn't put out as an episode, so we skipped that. 1 week we were all away, so we skipped that. So there's 2 or 3 that we missed because of just problems amongst us.
Yeah.
And then we tried to get better with doing 2 in a week or getting ahead a little.
Yeah.
So we'll try to keep that up. But we did almost the entire year, which is very good.
Yeah, no, we did well,
say.
and
I'm sure our sponsors appreciate it that we're out there every day. So
yeah, and maybe I guess within the next week, maybe we'll put up some throwback clips, from some episodes.
Yeah, we should get some more clips out, and next year we're looking to really expand a little more. We got some ideas and some things we're going to be rolling out.
Yeah, we got a lot of good shit that we're working on.
So and we're
just
hoping to
to
get
better
out
help you guys.
to you. We're going to hopefully get out to some of you guys, go to some of these events, drill team tournaments and stuff.
Yep.
And get out and see people and talk to people like we did at the Joey D. But, Maybe I'll do a live stream from the Joey D down in Texas in February.
Yeah, well-
So for those who don't know, Joey D's Texas coming up February 20th, 21st, 22nd, down in the Woodlands and Montgomery, down by Houston. So come out, come visit us.
Yeah,
And that's the episode.
that's 48. Merry Christmas.